Hi there, this is Elizabeth Chi with Century 21. In this video, I'm going to go over the seasons in real estate. I often get asked, when is a good time to sell my place? When is it a good time to buy a property? So let me just jump right into it here for you, looking at the stats. Right now, we're looking at the Fort St. John area for all price ranges, all property types, all construction types. We're looking at the last 5 years of sales right now, and then after that, we will look into the active listings. So when we look at these sales, we will see that we started off 5 years ago in 2018. The market actually was starting to take a little bit of a rebound from the dip in the oil and gas sector. We saw some sales over the winter months, and there typically aren't a lot of sales in the winter months just because it's cold weather and it's the Christmas holidays. Then we start to see a little bit of an incline, perhaps because people are getting their tax refunds. The warmer weather is another factor. With melting snow, people can actually see what's going on beneath the surface and check for any leaks. We also see that people may want to move into their new home for the summer season. So it typically peaks in May, but this year in 2018, we started to see a really good trend of sales. And then it usually hovers around the summertime, but here we peaked in August, and then we hovered in September, October, and November. Then it took a little bit of a dip in December, as it usually does. But when you look at 29 sales, that's still a very healthy December month. Then we continue on to see a peak in activity in May, as we normally do, and then we hover for the summer months. I think what happens is people want to be in their new home for the summer, and they want to enjoy their summer months, taking care of the items that were noted in the inspection, fixing, the fence or taking care of the exterior of the property. We get one last kick at the can in the summer months, or people are enjoying their summer is another factor because we do get such short summer months here. Then we get one last kick at the can, maybe in August, October or November, and then it slows down again for the winter season. Now, 2020 was a different year. We actually started to see a peak in sales in July when everything opened up. But 2021 was a very average and typical year with very low interest rates, with 83 homes sold for that month. And then we saw a hover around the summertime, and then a last kick at the can in November, and then a slowdown in activity for December. This 2022, this past year, we saw a nice big splurge of activity in the May season, as we normally do, hover for the summer, and then busy in October, slowed down for the winter season. Saw a peak in activity in May. So you can see the trends. We generally see a peak in activity in May, and then it slows down for the summer. So a lot of buyers are buying in the spring months. So that's what we call the spring real estate season. Oftentimes, real sellers say to me that they want to list their home in the spring season, but spring depends on weather here to some people, and our spring weather sometimes doesn't come to June or July. So when do people sell or list their house up for sale? You'll see that the peaks in the market here are generally in the summertime. So we start to see a lot more activity for sellers, a lot more competition, listings in the summer months. I think what happens is people let their kids get finish school, graduate. Then they have the warm climate to take care of the outside, stain the deck, paint the fence, get the flowers out, make sure the grass is nice and green, and just get the curb appeal going. But everybody else also has that mindset, unfortunately. So we start to see a lot of listings come up in the summer months. And when there's a lot more competition, what do you think happens to prices? Yep, that's right. You guessed it. Prices start to come down because what we price for these, we use the spring market for pricing the properties, but then in perspective, for this past month, July 2023, we saw 319 active listings. In comparison to 2018 or 5 years ago, it's not that bad. We are experiencing an era of higher interest rates. So we are starting to see a little bit of a slowdown in activity for the sales over here. But I did have clients that were approved last year for 500,000 come back to the table after they sat on the fence for a little bit because they saw the rising interest rates and they were a little bit concerned. So they sat on the fence for a while. And now with the increased interest rates, higher interest rates, they're now only able to afford a $400,000 property. So we'll start to see quite a bit of that now as people jump back into the market. They realize they can't afford as much. You'll see that there's always sales happening, whether it's December or whether it's the peak season in May, there's always sales happening. And you'll also see that there's always active listings. There's always people that have their house up for sale. We never sell 100% of the properties on the market. We do have subsections of the market where there is more activity. Previously, earlier this spring, there was only 3 properties available for sale between 500 to 600,000. Now there's 11 properties for sale. So we always want to pay attention if you're listing your property at how much competition you currently have, what has been sold, but also what is currently on the market as competition. Also, now more than ever, it's important to make sure that your home is in excellent condition, move-in ready, and you take care of everything that needs to be taken care of around the home. A lot of people say to me that they, don't want to even paint the walls, which covers most of the surface area of a property, but they don't want to paint it because they don't know what the color the new buyer will want. Well, they don't want to do your work. So it's best to just get it move-in ready because at least that will entice a buyer to move forward on your property and make sure that your home is sold sooner than the other homes that are on the market. If you're a buyer, when is it a good time to buy the property? I look at it from a couple different angles. If you are renting right now and you're planning on staying in Fort St. John for at least 3, 4, or 5 years or more, then why would you want to rent and give all that money away to your landlord? It is a great opportunity, even with the interest rates where they're at now. I mean, when you think about it, interest rates are not 18% and they're not double digits like my mom used to pay. We were just so used to the sub 2% interest rate that became normal. 5 to 6% is actually a normal interest rate. So get on the phone with your mortgage specialist and get your pre-approval in place because I am hearing that the interest rates are on the rise. And what your mortgage broker can do is get a rate hold for you so that if the interest rates do go up, then you are held at the lower interest rate for those 4 months. You just have to buy within those 4 months. Okay. So when you are listing your property or when you are buying a property, really pay attention to what else is going on in the market. There's also outlying factors like the economy, the interest rates, the government intervention. There's always something that's going to happen, but look at what's currently going on in the Fort St. John area. And we are a little bit in our own little bubble because we do have a very strong economy going on right now. So pay attention to that, what's going on, but really listen to your realtor and pay attention to the stats because the numbers don't lie. Thanks so much for watching and have a good day. Bye-bye.